I want to pivot real quick to a question that we get daily on this show. So much so that I wanted to address it for just a few moments. Here's the question we get. Hey, Ken, should I take a pay cut? Should I take a pay cut? Now, this is a serious question. And you've got to be able to look at a filter of 3 questions I'm about ready to give you that will then reveal the answer. So when does a pay cut make sense? Number 1, can you actually afford it? Like this, a pay cut can't throw you into financial uncertainty and, quite frankly, stupidity. It can't make things so tight that one little thing goes wrong and now we've created a tremendous amount of stress and negative actions, right? So now we start freaking out. Nobody makes sense when they're freaking out. Nobody acts the right way when they're freaking out. And when you start making things so tight financially for yourself, you are going to put yourself in a bad mental and emotional state. So number 1, can you afford it? Let me be more specific. Can you make sacrifices that are just simply about luxuries, or these are things that we can tighten up? We don't have to have the premium channels. We don't have to have cable. Is it a sacrifice? Yes. Is it going to put you in a tough financial position? No. So it has to fall under the category of I can sacrifice in the short term by making some cuts, and that will allow me to take the pay cut. Number 2, and before I move on, don't touch your emergency fund. Don't touch your savings. This has got to be sacrifice, not savings. If you can make some sacrifices and absorb the pay cut, I'm in. If it meets the final 2 qualifiers. Number 2, does it put you on the right path? If I'm taking a pay cut, I better know that I know it puts me on the right path. I'm stepping from this path over to the right path. If it puts me on the path, great. That's the second qualifier. But here's the final and the third qualifier. Does this job that I'm taking a pay cut for not only put me on the right path, but does it offer short-term growth? Meaning in the near future, I'm going to make up that pay cut. Meaning I got to get in, I got to pay my dues, I got to build my pipeline. But in the near term, I'm going to be able to grow. In other words, in the near future, I'm on a ladder and I'm climbing. Can you afford it through sacrifices, not putting yourself in a dire financial situation where your nose is barely above water? That's number 1. Number 2, does it put you on the right path? Get you in the industry that you want to be in? Get you in? And number 3, it's going to offer growth in the near future. If it doesn't meet those 3 clear requirements, no, you should not take a pay cut. And let me tell you why. If it doesn't meet those 3 criteria, guess what? You're just being impatient and you're trying to force the situation. You can wait a little bit longer. You can hang in that day job and keep things stable financially and keep looking for the right opportunity. You can get more experience on the side. You can get more education on the side. You can do what it takes to get a better gig. Don't take the first thing that's available because you're so desperate for change. I get it. Everybody is willing to do what it takes, but very few are willing to wait as long as it takes. And people get in bad financial situations when they try to make things happen too soon. So use those 3 criteria. And if the answer is yes, I can afford it, yes, it puts me on the right path, and yes, it gives me growth opportunity in the near term, then take it.